Hello, Bianconeri of Toronto and beyond. I'm Rocco Fasano, and we are Bianconeri YYZ. We are excited today because we are gathering right after Juve's debut in the Champions League, a 2-0 win in Kiev against Dynamo, both goals by Morata. So we're going to get going right away with the discussion, going to keep it loose, keep it free-flowing. I'm going to start right away with Ivan, just your reactions. And then we're going to keep going through our distinguished guests today. I'm actually going to go through them quickly. I'm going to say hi to Ali, Nicolas, Anthony, Silvana, Dan Chiappetta, Mo, Giuseppe, Daniel, and then we have Stefania, Danny B, Monica, and Nicola. All right, guys. So Ivan, take it away. What'd you think? Happy with the win?
Yeah, happy with the win. Too many unforced errors. I think we chatted about that today. That cost us some cards and actually limited, I think, in my opinion, Bentancur's performance in the middle with that yellow card, and just cost us, just this indecisiveness and just the unforced errors. And you gotta love Morata. Inamorata son, as they say. And I'm gonna make this statement right off the bat, and it's gonna get still going, but. There's no way I'm putting in Dybala with Morata's hot hand.
All right.
Not a chance.
Right. Shots fired.
There
Silvana.
we go.
Silvana.
I'm making a road trip to Ottawa. And Giuseppe, if you say anything, I'll make a trip to Belgium.
So yeah, it's there's no way he's got the hot hand. You don't take Morata off at all. Not right now. You playing with Ronaldo, probably with Kulusevski and or Ramsey, but you just can't. He's got it.
Silvana, what did you think when Dybala came on today? Because he didn't start again. First of all, did you not like the fact that were you happy that he didn't start? Should he have started maybe or not?
I think, no, I wanted him to rest some more. He just came off of an injury, like the poor thing had diarrhea or whatever, some whatever thing he had from Argentina. Yeah. No, I would prefer that he rested, definitely. If Morata, Inabonata, is doing so well for us, and he's scoring the goals, why are we going to risk Dybala when we're going to need him after the fact? I feel he could have. I mean, he looked like he had lots of energy, and he was, you saw his talent whenever he came on. He's still doing what he does, and I didn't want him to play today. Actually, to be honest with you,
So you were happy with the fact that he didn't start. So you thought it was a smart idea not to start.
Yes, I still think he needs to rest. I really do.
So when he came on, what did you think? Were you happy with his performance today?
I mean, I was happy. Obviously, I want to, and I was hoping he was going to score. He almost did. He almost did, and I wish he did. I was rooting for him to score, but yeah, I feel he's not ready yet. I mean, he has that. I think he probably still has that diarrhea thing. I mean, what is it, 2 days ago?
It looked like he was walking around with Cacarella, right? That's kind of the...
As much as I love him...
Just kidding. We're going to have to edit that out, eh?
And so many other people love him, as Giuseppe knows, right, Giuseppe? A lot of people give you death threats when you say stuff about Dybala that you shouldn't. Yeah.
All right. So go ahead. Finish your thought, and then I don't see anyone else putting their hand up.
I think he's more important if we need him for like a game like against Barcelona. You know what I mean? Like, I think he still needs, or a bigger team. I think he needs to rest. He's not ready.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Fair. I saw Daniel put his hand up. Go ahead, Daniel. Come on in, buddy.
So a couple things I want to mention that we haven't touched on yet. Firstly, I'm really looking forward to the raffle that we're going to have at the end of this video that we're shooting here, this meeting, giving away our official Juventus training jersey that's autographed by your Juventus 11. All official Bianconeri YYZ members are included in that draw, so I'm really looking forward to that. Touching on the Dybala point, it was nice to see him play, and that kind of dovetails in nicely to our current raffle that we're doing for the 2019-20 Dybala jersey that's autographed by none other than Dybala, Ronaldo, and the remainder of the Juventus starting 11. And we are raffling that off at 1 ticket for $10 Canadian, 3 for 25. Dybala's performance, not bad considering his comeback from injury and his gastroenteritis issues. Was it amazing? No. Was I impressed overly? No. But it's nice to see him get some minutes out there. Overall, I think there were some glimpses of some solid play, but I'm just happy for the 3 points, especially after the weekend conundrum that we had. It's nice to start the UCL campaign off right with 3 points, 2 away goals. Overall, can't complain. I think Morata, 4 goals in 2 games is pretty good, although one was called back by the string on his boot, or his heel rather. That signing's looking to be half decent in 2 games. So Kulishevsky played okay. I think not great, but Chiesa was really in the past 2 games impressive for me. A lot of good build-up play, and I just want to mention that cross by Cuadrado. Ooh, that was a nice one.
On the money.
He made up for it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm seeing some reaction by Daniel Chiappetta, and I'm hoping to go from one Daniel to the other. What was your, and I recognize Ali right after that. Who impressed you today, man? And any other kind of, anything on the game so far that we've been talking about?
Impressed, obviously Morata. I mean, 3 goals in 2 games is always a great way to start your second chapter with Juve. One guy who I don't know if anybody agrees with me. It is what it is, but I think Demiral should be starting back there all the time. That kid is an absolute beast, and seeing him, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. He plays hard nosed. He's like a Chiellini type of defender. I think he should be on the pitch all the time with him and De Ligt and whoever plays in the back with them. If Chiellini's not playing, I think he's phenomenal. I really, really do. But great game. We won. That's all that matters. Obviously, there's room for improvement, but you know what? Take 3 points. Head back to Torino.
Wonderful. Ali, come in, buddy.
Hi, everyone. So, in terms of the game itself, I'm just happy we got a win, but I think we played very flimsy. I mean, it was the things that we did, the errors that we did, could have cost us with clinical teams. Aside from them, I'm happy we won. I'm happy Dybala came on. He did do some good things at the end. He had chances that he could have potentially scored. Now, in terms of who were people that turned my eyes, like I don't think everyone over here unanimously will say Morata, but apart from him was Chiesa for me, and which actually brings me to my next point. As we should, now that we're in the experimental still stage, I think that we should try having Morata, Ronaldo, like if 3-5-2 or even maybe 3-4-3 with Dybala, Ronaldo, and Morata. And that's something I think they should start experimenting with to see what results will yield, at least in some matches that don't mean that much.
And where do you see those 3? How do you see those 3 forming, like playing?
So either Morata and Ronaldo play up front with Dybala behind them, or they do a small triangle up front. Dybala on the right flank, and Ronaldo on the left, Morata right in the middle.
Okay.
But Chiesa right now, because Sandro is gone, I would play him on the left side, Cuadrado on the right, and in the middle, I would love to see Artur and Rabiot.
Okay.
And also another thing that was Demiral. Oh my God, I was really heartbroken that Chiellini, my favorite defender of all time, got injured, and it was his hamstring again. I saw it grab his leg. I'm like, oh my God. But then Demiral came on. He should have relaxed some. Like that tackle he had from behind. I got terrified. I'm like, oh God, the red is coming out. Oh God, the red is coming out. Luckily, the red didn't come out. I'm like, oh, thank God. But yeah, Demiral should always play, in my opinion, especially right now that Chiellini, this has happened. They should rest him until we get to the crucial matches where we need him in the knockout stages. We need him there. Rest the
Okay.
guy.
I'm going to be controversial. I don't think Demiral's ready for Europe. I think he's good for Serie A.
This guy has a death wish.
No, hold on. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. I think that right now he's perfect for Serie A. I think that when he came on with a little bit of he was cold. He wasn't expecting it, but he was jaded. And you see, they actually had to change his wing. He actually had to switch positions because I think he wasn't comfortable. He didn't look comfortable in the first few minutes, and that's granted. But even that overzealous tackle, I just think that he was uneasy, and it could have been it's Europe and the and it's
a bigger stage.
It's a bigger stage. That's what I meant to say. Thanks, Rocco. So I'm iffy. For me right now, our best defender has been Danilo in the last 3 games. It has been better than Bonucci. He's been the most consistent.
Okay, so I'm just going to switch gears a little bit because we started to touch upon some single players, but I want to talk. I'm going to ask Mohammed a question about formation because I'm having some trouble understanding exactly what Juve's formation is, and I'm not talking about the starting lineup. I mean, how are we playing? Like I talked to someone, they're saying 3-5-2. I talked to someone else, it's 3-4-1-2. I talked to someone else, it's 4-4-2. What is it? So I'm calling upon the wisdom of El Táctico to give us a little bit of enlightenment. Go ahead, Mohammed.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me, guys. So that's the beauty of it. It's dynamic. It's not one formation. It's not the old style of you have to follow and stay in your position wherever you are. No, it's adapting to the game. It's a lot of movements. It's very dynamic. So it goes like when you're attacking, you have a formation. You have 3. It would be 3-3-4 in some cases even. When you're going like full ahead, because you're gonna see a lot of midfielders integrating and going inside the box, and this is how we scored the first goal. And then going backwards, you're gonna go to like a 4-4-2 even. And this is the beauty of it. It's not one single formation. So when you're defending, you're gonna see Morata and Ramsey up front. And then when they're attacking, you're gonna see Ramsey behind Morata and being supported by Kulusevski and Chiesa.
Right, and I've seen one of our typically our trequartista, right? If you will, we're playing with one attacking midfielder behind 2 strikers, I've seen him tuck in behind and join the 4, and you actually see it. You've seen, I'm sure you're preparing a screenshot for your tactical videos with Giuseppe, who we're going to go to next. But you see it. You actually saw it at one point, more than one point. Like the 2 lines, you have 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and the 2 attackers. When we're in the defensive phase, right? When we don't have the ball. And then when you see them attacking, you almost see sometimes even like a 3 behind the single striker. You know what I mean? Like a 3-1, if you will, if you want to finish it off. I don't know how the first 2 would go, if it's 3-2-3, 1-2, whatever. Like it's just a mess. I start to get, my head starts to go.
Well, that's the beauty of it. Depending on which side they're playing, they're gonna find support, and then once they change sides, you're gonna have Cuadrado from one side, and then getting support from Bentancur, and up front from Ramsey. Like trying to do some quick passes until you get to the box and you find your player. And it's not necessarily the player who's always up front. You saw the first goal, Ramsey, he passed all the way to the back to Kulusevski, who was able to shoot. So they're creating many options. That's completely different to the old Juve we're used to with Sarri. Every player has at least 2 to 3 options.
I want to go to Giuseppe next. Like Giuseppe, what do you think? What do you think of this new Juve under Pirlo? What are some of the things that excite you about it, and what are some of the things that you just so far they haven't quite ticked yet?
No, I was actually quite happy today because even if the motto is live ahead, and even if we have a young player and we are going with rejuvenation, today actually after the
Giuseppe's
20
on the phone. So I
after
was
the
talking to my son. I'm sorry.
no, it's fine, it's fine. After the 20th, we went actually really old school to a real 4-4-2. We started with a dynamic 3-4-1-2, like Mo was explaining, where Cuadrado had the role. Because if you saw the video that the last video that we prepared with Mo, he showed at a certain moment that we had a big problem to the right, and it happened many times that the right wing was really always free, and we had some problems there with Chiesa. So today you really see that the Pirlo, he works on it, and that's why he put Cuadrado there. But what I loved a lot today is that he started with Chiellini in the center, not on the left. When we play with three men, normally Chiellini is more taking the left part. Today Chiellini started really in the center, like years ago. And what I loved in the lineup of Pirlo was like, okay, maybe he recognized that Bonucci has a problem with 1 versus 1. And when Chiellini was injured, instead of continuing with that dynamic 3-4-1-2, he changed it in a real 4-4-2. And that's why I'm saying an old school 4-4-2. Because otherwise, it would have put Bonucci really as a central defender. And I don't know today if it's a lack of confidence of Bonucci's 1-to-1 or just tactical change. So I was really happy to see that even if Pirlo has ideas of changing, of being dynamic and trying a new football, at a certain moment, out of necessity, he went to old school football, like a real 4-4-2 with Cuadrado being in the back. So I was quite happy, even if the game was not wow. Let's be honest, it was not a big game. But 3 days ago, we had a dramatic game versus Crotone where we were really unorganized. And today, after the first half, you started really to see an organization and being really solid. So in 3 days, I was quite impressed.
In 3 days, somebody tore down the temple and rebuilt it again. We just did a 2-0 win. That's just good enough for me, I guess. I'm actually very happy with today's win. I know it wasn't. You said it wasn't pretty, but at least we got the job done. We got the 3 points. It was kind of somewhat of an Allegri-like kind of win. I'm gonna call Nicola, and the reason why I say that, I say the Allegri-like kind of win, is that it's just one of those nights where you get it done in Europe. It's not necessarily always high tempo and always perfect, but Allegri Pirlo called upon the best 11 that he had. I think he selected, his man selection was focused on a lot of European experience. We didn't see any Frabotta or Portanova this time around. So it was kind of interesting. It was an interesting outing, I think. So Nicola, what were your impressions from tonight in general? And if you want to talk about any singles, I personally was impressed by Chiesa. I liked him, even the game that he got expelled against Crotone. I think he did a lot of really good work on that left wing. Go ahead, Nicola.
Yeah, you know what? One thing I'll say is that I didn't find it was like a Allegri-like game, because I found with Allegri, especially Champions League, they would get up like 1-0 really early, and then they would defend for like 80 minutes. And I think maybe it's because Pirlo is still, trying to try new things. The players are adjusting to it. The first half was a bit, not gonna lie, it was a bit frustrating to watch. All the doubts are starting to set in, but then the second half was a lot more encouraging. I like the way the way the attack played for sure. Chiesa played well. I'm still not 100% convinced on him. I find
Really,
he still turns the ball over a bit too much. Maybe it's the mentality that he, when he came over from Fiorentina, because in Fiorentina he was that man, right? And he probably felt like he had to do everything on his own. So he has to realize there's going to be support, especially when Dybala and Ronaldo are playing. He's going to have that support. He could pass it off a lot more. But I definitely like him in the wing back spots. And then obviously Morata. Like, I'm so happy he's back. I loved him the first time around. Who I forget. I think it was Dan who said it. 4 goals in 2 games. It pretty much would have been 4 goals if it wasn't for that heel. So I really liked him. Dybala. I find he's a player. He needs to start to really have an impact on the game. He's not a player who's going to come off the bench and have an impact. Maybe it's a mentality thing. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see once he starts again. You said it. Like there's something with him. You could tell he's not 100%. So we can't be too critical. So it'll be interesting. Maybe this weekend he starts against Verona.
I'm going to go to Anthony next, but I want you guys to just keep this going and keep things free flowing. Don't wait for me to call on you. I mean, if you want to just put your hand up and say you want to talk, please, I'll make sure I prioritize everyone, but let's keep it going. Anthony, I don't know, like as far as Dybala is concerned, I think he's just got to shake off some rust. I mean, I think today, I mean, it's a little bit between, it's a number of things. One, he's never played in this formation or with Pirlo at all. And then there's the other factor that, as I said, like he's coming off an injury. So I'm not really like he's in a tough spot, but we know that he's a difference maker. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not concerned really about Dybala. I know that I know what he offers and what he brings. I think it's like you said. He's coming off an injury. He hasn't really played since August. There was no preseason. He's barely been able to do much training, and then he had a stomach bug while he was with Argentina. So there's the contract thing, the contract dispute thing, which maybe is at the back of his mind as well. It's an extra thing on his mind where he's thinking about that. So there's a lot of factors that come into it. I think but at the end of the day, I know what he brings, so I'm not really concerned. I know it's just a matter of time before we start seeing the real Dybala again. So yeah, he's good.
I'm gonna go to Vishnu next, but before I do, Anthony, I just wanted your perspective overall on anything else that we've been talking about so far. Other players that might have impressed you, or what's the future like? Do you see Dybala and Ronaldo playing together? And if so, who sits, right? Is it Kulusevski? Yeah. Is it Ramsey? Is it what about Chiesa? Is there some way in which we can fit them all? And is that even a good thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I think we won't see them I think Dybala. I'd like to see Dybala, Ronaldo, and Morata start all together. That would be I'm not sure we'll see that week in, week out. But I think I would like to see that at least when we need to score, when particularly in Europe, if we're chasing a game, we need to score. I think that'll be a valuable strategy to have, a valuable tactic. I think it's going to be tough. Ultimately, I see Kulusevski, once he settles in, I see him kind of occupying the role Ramsey's been playing. Ramsey's been doing well, but I think Kulusevski is going to be, the future there. Just sitting in the role that Ramsey's been playing. And I think it was Ivan who mentioned Danilo playing center back in defense in general. I think he's been our best defender so far this season. Today he was excellent again. And I think he doesn't get enough props, I think, but especially because he kind of underwhelmed last season. But yeah, he's definitely under Pirlo. Danilo's being kind of reborn. I'm really happy with what I've been seeing from him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to. I'm actually gonna, before I go to Vishnu, I'd be remiss if I didn't go to some of the folks who've been who are on the call as well, but I couldn't see their video, so it's, you know, the old adage, out of sight, out of mind. So my bad. I'm gonna go to Monica, and just anything on that we've been talking about so far, you know, individual, singles, but also, do you think, and this is a question to all, do you think that Pirlo is going to be, one of the tough things that he's going to have to deal with is managing all of the characters and the egos once everyone is healthy? And in that aspect, is COVID and some of the COVID cases we've been having, as well as some of the injuries, is that necessarily a bad thing? So Monica, and then I'm going to go to Danny and then Vishnu. Danny B. Go ahead, Monica.
So, hello everyone.
Monica.
Just about the game today. I don't want to like repeat a bunch of things that
No,
people
do
said.
repeat.
I guess just something, I don't know if it was mentioned or not, but just a little note about Bentancur. He was, I would say, like the worst out of I would say either him or Kulusevski today. Kind of didn't impress me, and I would say like they were the worst out of the bunch. I think it's interesting when, you know, we do have a full squad. Like we still have like Alexandro out, for example, and you know, what if he is playing well under Pirlo? So it kind of gives us like good depth, the depth that we actually thought we had last year, but it wasn't great depth. We have like a lot of flair type of players who can change a game at any moment, and that's kind of exciting. And like me myself, I don't even know who I would put as the best 11, so it's kind of ironic when I get mad at Pirlo, like, why are you playing this guy, why are you playing that guy, when like I don't even know who I would put and leave out. So I guess that's good in a way. I like that he's like incorporating the youth. I'm not too sure about throwing guys in like Portanova just yet.
Not in the Champions League, you mean, right?
Not just even in general. I'm not too sure about that yet. It kind of like, you do want to create some sort of rhythm and like find your best 11. And I don't know, it was kind of like too much of a hipster move for me, in my opinion. But
so what do you make of his choices? Like, is he kind of too bold, you find, in you know, he makes these wild changes from one week to the next, or is like, you know, let me just say maybe the opposite point of view of what you were saying, just to play devil's advocate for a minute. Like, he hasn't had the opportunity to test anyone, right? There really wasn't a long, like a season, what do you call that, preseason, right? So when is he going to try stuff, you know, now or when the stakes are really higher?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Feel free to defeat that point, because I don't agree with it.
I agree with it to a certain extent. Like I said, like I agree with like throwing guys like Chiesa, like right from the bat, he got transferred and he's in the mix and things like that.
Yeah.
I just think it's like too left field sometimes. Like when you throw on a guy like Portanova,
yeah,
like you still want, and we had like a good opportunity. A lot of teams like around us dropped points, and we had a good opportunity to. I mean, that wasn't the reason why we lost, like because a guy like Portanova was playing, but you also want to build something concrete, and you want to, like you want to know like your guys, and like I don't think that he's gonna be that guy. So
yeah.
I don't know. It was a little bit too hipster for me, but
yeah.
yeah,
I like that.
That's just my take. But I agree with you on your earlier comment about today's game. We kind of like, it wasn't like so pretty, but we got the job done, and like at least we're making our quality count, because sometimes in the past, like we're clearly the better team even individually, and like we still can't find the breakthrough. So that's how like the great teams win games. So
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's, I mean, I think that's a good point. I'm going to go to Danny B. Go ahead, Danny. What would you make of anything that we're talking about so far? You want to talk about single players? You want to talk about how the game went, how you felt? Do you feel better after this win? What are the prospects for the near future? And anything really we've been talking about? Go ahead.
I just watched the highlight, guys. I wasn't able to watch the game.
Fair.
So whatever you guys are saying, I believe. I'm all for Pirlo. I have no issue with playing the kids.
Mhm.
I have 100% faith in Pirlo, knows what he's doing, and I will never question him. I question Sarri and Allegri. I won't question Pirlo. He's a
Okay.
winner. He knows how to win.
And that's good enough for you.
That's good enough for me.
That's fair. Fair.
And I
Okay.
have my 9-year-old son says Messi's better than Pirlo. So he might be joining next meeting with Barcelona. So
Yeah. I mean, we've had our direttore sportivo, Cristiano Ronaldo, start to talk to Mbappe. He's starting the negotiation there. So maybe we might not get Messi, but we might get Mbappe. Who knows?
I'm fine with that too.
After De Ligt, I see Silvana doing a down. You know what, Silvana, come in. We're gonna go to Vishnu after that, but Silvana, we'll go ahead. Come on. We're doing this as a free flow thing, so let's keep it going. What do you think of Mbappe? Unmute yourself. Don't worry. Even if it's one word.
Hi.
Hey.
We have
Mbappe
enough
doesn't impress, eh?
Argentinians on the team as far as I'm concerned. No.
But Mbappe is
Mbappe is
No,
fine.
Mbappe.
Yeah.
Oh my God, having Mbappe on the team is like we will. You're just starting a super team with Mbappe and Ronaldo. I mean, of course, who's gonna say no to have Mbappe on the team? Like he's young, he's talented, and even though they lost today, oh my God, I can't believe they lost to Manchester United. Whoa,
spoiler.
what happened there? But
I was
anyway,
gonna go watch the highlights. What's the matter with you?
sorry, oops.
Just kidding. It's
But
late.
Lazio,
6
like,
hours
sorry.
have passed. Go ahead, Lazio. Go. What did you think
Oh
of
my
Lazio against BVB?
I
Borussia.
couldn't believe I was watching that game too. It was like amazing. They were amazing. They just did amazing. I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure Dortmund was going to win today. Sorry, I'm going totally off, but I thought for sure. But great. I'm happy that Lazio won. I always go for the Italian team first, unless it's who. We're not going to say their name, right? Right, Giuseppe? We're not going to say their name. We're not going to ruin the call. But I mean, how could you say no to Mbappe? Never. Messi, I mean, okay, he's Messi, but really, do you really need Messi? Like he's older. I mean, if I had to pick between Messi and Mbappe, well, that's a no-brainer. So I definitely want Mbappe for sure.
So I just want to note, I know Ivan is just itching at getting at this because he was talking to me about some nonsense Mercato news he heard.
I actually want to ask Vishnu. Vishnu a question. I'm going to ask Vishnu a question. What happens? What happens when De Ligt comes back? What do you do?
When De Ligt comes back?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good problem to have, I think, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of options. But I would want to see him take over Bonucci's position, even though it means, I guess, De Ligt's probably not as good as a ball distributor as Bonucci, but I just feel safer, and I think most of us feel safer with De Ligt at the center of the three at the back. So I don't know.
Who would be your three?
My three?
Yeah,
I would go for Chiellini if he's healthy on the left, and then on the right I'll go for Demiral. I think that's my.
Oh, really? All right.
But again, like with our playing style, like I think we could benefit from like Bonucci's distribution, but his defending is just awful, right? I mean.
Nicholas wants to chime in.
So Nick, come in, Nick. Yeah, noted.
Yeah, I think Bonucci. I think he's really important to the way we've been playing so far this season, because I've noticed he's the one defender that gets up almost like a third midfielder. So his distribution is I think is really important, and none of the other players could really match that. his defending isn't the best. It's really gone down the past few years, but I find also he's gotten a lot of unnecessary hate. I think it's the fact that he left and came back. You know, I don't like. I'm not gonna say I love the player, but I'm not gonna say I hate the player either. He's good. He's good in this formation, I find. And I think this season with the way Chiellini, you know, we don't know about his injury right now, all that. I think we're gonna have to, you know, accept that he's gonna play. Obviously, we're you know, we want to see Demiral and De Ligt, the two young players, but you know, Bonucci, he's good for this team.
I have a question back to you, Nicholas. Is that, do you think there's the issue with Bonucci with not having Chiellini beside him because of the injury, and he's been out for a while, not having a vocal keeper behind him like Buffon, and now with Tech behind him, he's not getting that same, because Tech's quiet, you can hear him, you don't usually hear him.
Yeah.
Where Gigi is quite vocal and direct. So do you think that's impacted Bonucci's play?
Maybe. I think also it could just be with age. Like he's what, 31 now, 32. Maybe with age. I think also the loss of like not playing with Barzagli anymore. I think, you know, Bonucci played the best with Chiellini and Barzagli. So you know, maybe it's a combination of those things. I think sometimes defending, he just does like stupid mistakes. The way he just like sticks out his butt and stands there. Like it was against Roma. Forget who it was.
Bonucci lunge.
Yeah.
Bonucci lunge. He's good at lunges, you know.
I think it was what, like Mkhitaryan got by him so easily, and then Chesney bailed him out. So yeah, maybe it would be nice to have Chiellini next to him, telling him to not be so stupid defending sometimes.
I think there's a clear lack of communication between the goalie and our defenders. So today, specifically towards the end of the game, Woj came out to punch the ball, and he was like right into, I believe it was Bonucci, and that's been a kind of an ongoing.
Morata. It was Morata. Morata was down there.
There were two incidents. There was two.
Okay. Well, regardless, that's an ongoing theme where, you know, Woj isn't being vocal enough to his defenders, and I think not having someone in the back line who is going to pick up that lead is causing us a little bit of issue. And if Bonucci is going to be there and be the captain, he really needs to step up and communicate and direct from the back, especially with his ball playing ability. Like, the fact that he's our go-to with the ball out of the defenders means that he needs to be able to communicate to get the ball and distribute the ball, in my opinion, obviously. But back on what everyone's saying with De Ligt and Demiral, like, really looking forward to seeing them play more together. They really need to brush up on their rash challenges, though. That's going to cost us, I think, in the long run. Hopefully not, but if they can pick up there, then I think we have like two studly defenders for the next 10 years, even 10, 15 years based on their age.
So one thing I was going to say, the second Dilla is back, I think one thing Pirlo should try and experiment with is let Danilo play Bonucci's role, because one thing about Danilo, he has the ability to go forward. He has the ability to distribute the ball. So why not play with Demiral, Danilo, and De Ligt?
As a center back? I don't know. I mean, does he have the skill to harness the power of the two guys beside him? I don't think he has that leadership. And the guy in the center, especially, like, who's our captain then at that point? Who's the defensive leader? It's certainly not Woj. Is it De Ligt? I don't know. I don't know if I'd like to see it, but based on what you're saying, yeah, he can move forward, he can move the ball, he can run, but can he defend as well? How is he going to do with people coming at him from the left and the right? You know, he's used to playing on one of the edges, which is only limiting him to mostly defending from one angle, right? It'd be interesting. I'm all for trying things, especially on the lowly teams, hopefully.
Yeah, I never in a million years thought that Daniel would play the role that he's playing right now. I mean, like, if he can, and the things that he's pulling right now, I I wouldn't be surprised if he can pull that off.
He looks sharp. There's no question
Yeah.
about it. He's one of our best defenders for sure right
Is
now.
he actually playing better, or is it just he works better in this new three-man defense?
I think he's less susceptible to certain situations in that role because of the coverage and in the formation that they're playing and the way Pirlo's system works, right?
Yeah.
But he gave a beautiful ball, I think, out to Cuadrado today when he was up. He pushed up and he just was put on the wing. I'm just like, wow. And he seems calm on the ball. Bonucci seems nervous. Danilo seems calm. Like there's it's incredible to see, but I love the fact that Danilo is there. And you know what? People who are crying for Cancelo, they can keep on crying because it looks like it's a masterful stroke by Paratici right now. Considering.
Do you think he was kind of like his worst game was against Roma? And just funny enough, we were kind of flat. We kind of converted at one point into a flat, like 4-4-1 because we had a guy off. Is that a coincidence? Because last year he played in a 4-man defense the whole time, and we saw his performances weren't that great. You can respond to that, Ivan, but I want Mo.
I want Mo. Actually, I was waiting for Mo to come in, so I was going to actually acquiesce and get Mo to
please
chime
acquiesce. I'm happy.
Yeah, sure. So Danilo, his problem is he either plays really well or plays really bad. There's no middle ground. But lately, he's been playing really good. He's providing that link up with midfield. He's good with his feet and all that. I wouldn't remove Bonucci right now because he's the only one who can play that role. I know we can put Danilo cannot play there. He doesn't know how to position himself in the middle. He's always on the sides, so it's going to be really hard for him. You can put there Demiral or maybe De Ligt, but even then, it's really hard because you need someone who's capable of passing the ball behind that midfield and to the strikers. The only player right now who can do that is Bonucci.
Yeah.
Bonucci, his problem is mental. He has a mental coach. He's trying to work with him. I don't think it's working well because he's still being criticized a lot by Juventini. He's trying to gain their confidence back. It's taking a lot of time, and you can see that this has an impact on his performance.
Do you think the captaincy weighs on him? He's already leading the defense as the senior veteran on the team, right? Because I'm talking when Chiellini's not around, right? Which has been quite often this year already. Do you find that when he plays with Chiellini, maybe he's a little more relaxed? He doesn't have to worry about leading the defense so much. He doesn't have to do all the leadership stuff that has nothing to do with the title or with the armband, right? But as the most senior person on that defensive line, I think it's an additional weight and a distraction, I think, from the hardcore defending. Is that agree, disagree? What do you think?
I agree with you absolutely, because leadership, it's not something based on age. It's something that you build, and you need the trust of the other players. If the other players don't really listen to you or don't look up to you, then you're going to feel that, you're being ignored and you're going to lose focus. So I think this is what's happening with Bonucci. It happened with him with Milan. All the Milan players, they were just looking at him and laughing at him. And I think he's afraid of that at Juventus as well, because he doesn't have that mentality of imposing and leadership and all that. I think De Ligt would be much better at that role.
So Mo, I'm gonna ask with Chiellini out and with maybe weighing on Bonucci, would you give it to CR7?
No, I wouldn't. And CR7 doesn't want it even.
You don't think so?
No. The proof is, if you remember, he gave it to Matuidi once. He's a leader. He's a leader, and he will yell at people and all that. But he wants someone else to take that role. And same thing happened at Real Madrid. It was Sergio Ramos. It wasn't him. He wants someone else to guide the players, to stay in formation and all that and motivate them. He's still going to be there to provide that support, but he doesn't want to take that role.
I think there's a benefit too of having him not as the sole captain, because he's able to add to the leadership rather than be the sole source of leadership, right? So I think there's a good benefit for that. And that's possibly the reason why he's been passing it off, especially to Matuidi. But that game, it seemed, he's passing it based on experience and tenure with the club, right? So that was normal, but that could be very well the case. He's passing it along to keep the leadership kind of spread out. Because if he's the only guy and he has the captain's band and he's responsible for leading the attack, and it's a lot of voice that he's going to have to speak to the whole team, right? I think spreading that leadership out would be more beneficial overall for sure.
I just want to recognize some of the folks that have been patiently waiting, and I don't mean anything by it, but I think Stefania was managing some things off online and multitasking, so I didn't pass the baton to her yet. So go ahead, Stefania. I'd love to hear from you, your view as always, with your astute observations. So please come in, and then I want Mark to. Mark also said he's going to come in on something later on. Go ahead, Stefania.
Maybe just to chime in about the defense convo. Agree with Wishney made some really, really great points. I think that defensively, De Ligt as a center back, I mean, just looking at his instincts, right? He can read the game far more better than Bonucci, even with all of his years of experience personally. So I actually wouldn't mind seeing him there. Danilo, he's also played as a left back. So I can see Danilo possibly taking over Chiellini's role since he's injured. And Demiral, he's actually played as a right back when he was with Alanyaspor in the Turkish Super League. So, like I really wouldn't mind seeing that formation, testing it out against, like I would generally say, against a team such as Crotone, although we didn't have a great showing, but I mean, maybe against some of these smaller teams. Yeah, no, fair. So I think it's interesting. Chiellini, and so it seems like it's a hamstring issue. Looks like it. But I mean, his age and just physical fitness, he's coming off of a major surgery.
So you probably called him, right? How's he feeling? You think he'll be back in a couple of weeks? He'll be back in a few weeks, right? Usually 15 days, something like that.
3 weeks.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. I'm going to let Mark come in, and then I'm cognizant of the time, and we made a promise to keep things to around 60 minutes. So we're coming up on that, Mark. We do have a big giveaway coming up. So go nowhere, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to give away our training jerseys signed by all the Juventus players of right at the tail end of 1920. So that's it. We're going to give that away, as Daniel said at the beginning. So in the meantime, Mark, come on in on anything we've been talking about. Go ahead.
Hey, don't worry, guys. I didn't really watch the game, so I won't take too much of your time. I watched a little bit at work, but I don't know. I guess based on what some of you were saying, the Bonucci talk, he gets a lot of slander nowadays. I think it's probably mostly because he made that transfer. I mean, he's not, like, defensively, he's not a rock like, in the past, like Barzagli or Chiellini, but I mean, he's still probably integral to the team and the way they play. So I don't know if I would drop him just yet. I mean, I mean, I talked to my sister a lot about the game, so I kind of agree with her in terms of what.
That's why
'cause
you
I
know
heard,
so much, right?
yeah,
That's why you know
exactly.
so much because you talked to Monica.
Because I heard
Ah.
I heard her point about like playing I guess the younger players. I mean, Verbata hasn't been too bad, and I mean Porto Novo wasn't bad either. But I agree with her in terms of kind of building a rhythm. You don't really know what his starting 11 is going forward, and I think a lot of teams in Serie A are kind of in win mode, win now mode right now. So I think maybe keeping the experiments to a minimum, kind of finding that balance sooner rather than later, will probably be a benefit long term. But I mean, they won tonight, so can't complain, I guess, when they win.
Yeah, you got to put those 3 points away also because Barcelona is waiting for nobody. Absolutely thrashed the Hungarian champions, Ferencváros, 5-1, I believe was the final. So I'm just going to recognize Matteo Rubinato from the LA area, who's just joined us now. Thank you for joining us. Just your quick, what do you think? What did you think of the match today? Anything that impressed you on either side? Really good, or that really made you angry today?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Rocco. And I'm sorry, but I'm in the middle of the first game one of the World Series. Sorry about that. Well, I guess that the win is more important than anything today. Okay, so I think we need to get the win, take the win, and 3 points was fundamentally important today. And of course, the performance was okay. I don't think Dynamo Kyiv was nothing special, okay? But at the end of the day, it's Champions League. It's an away game of Champions League. So it's never like a given thing. If you think about the 6th player from Dynamo Kyiv played like last week against Spain, and they forced them to 0-0, okay? So it's never a given in Champions League, especially on away game. So I like how we play because basically we didn't allow any scoring chance to Dynamo Kyiv. Okay, we didn't create that much, but in the first half we have like a 3 clear chance, and then we have a couple in the second half, and I think it was a win, and it's always win. I didn't. The only bad thing about today, I didn't like Betancourt. I think it had like a super game. And I was thinking that Pirlo was taking like out like at the halftime. Other than that, I like Chiesa. We know Chiesa is not a bowler like Costa was used to be, but he's a workhorse. Okay, and you know that for 90, 95 minutes, 100 minutes, you're always going to give that. You're gonna go up and down, up and down, up and down, and look like he created the play for the first goal, like he created the chance last week, sorry for the time goal from.
The assist
for Morata.
The assist,
So,
and
it looks like. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you think he can coexist with Ronaldo on that side when he comes back? Like, is Ronaldo going to be happy with becoming a number 9, basically, or more of a number 9, not playing so wide?
I don't know, but I think Ronaldo can coexist. The problem is Dybala is not gonna coexist with them because I think the chemistry that is creating between Chiesa, Kulusevski, and Morata is pretty sweet. If you think that they just have like a couple of training together and a couple of games together, of course, Ronaldo is gonna start. One between Kulusevski and Chiesa gonna find space. Actually, I like what Ramsey is showing on the pitch in the last games. Today he had a really nice game. But the problem, I don't see Ronaldo plus Morata plus Dybala. That's the issue I see. I don't see that.
And you know what? Maybe keeping one of them on the bench to start isn't a bad thing because you can have an ace in the hole coming on. 1, 2.
That's for sure.
Injuries never seem to be. Injuries seem to be never ending. 3, we're in the midst of a pandemic where just about anyone can get this virus. On and on and on we go, right? Maybe it's not a bad thing to have if this virus has taught me anything personally in my work life, etc., is that abundance And redundancy, what was called as a bad word before, but redundancy is a good thing because it means you can have some backups when when you're short.
Sure thing. Sure thing. Honestly, sure thing. Yeah, of course. And if you think about what, at least we have something that we can pick from the bench and change the pace of the game. You know, that something. For example, last year it was supposed to be Costa, and Costa was never available. It's supposed to be Higuain. Higuain was never in the shape to give that. But at the end of the day, Higuain was starting, and Dybala was on the bench. So the issue is always the same. So Dybala is gonna find a spot, and he's gonna give keep like his mood up, even if he's not gonna start a couple of games.
Yeah.
Because wait, no lie, something happened last Saturday. Some words were safe.
Yeah.
And nothing major, nothing big. But why? Why?
But Matteo, let's just call it what it is. You know, the field today confirmed that Mr. Pirlo was right. You know, Dybala did not come on and score a hat trick or play this amazing game. He was flat. He was rather insipid, and that's to be understood because he's not superhuman. We're not playing the video game, right?
Matteo, I don't think it was that bad. Honestly, look, I'm famous because I'm getting famous to be against Dybala. That's something that I really am not. I like Dybala. I like Dybala. I think he's the second best player in Serie A and Juventus. But he's getting to an age, 27 years old, 28, then we need to understand what we're gonna have with him. He's gonna be like a Mbappe, a Neymar kind of player. That I don't think so, but he's gonna be like a secondary player. Yeah, okay, it can be, but he needs to show up because you need to be realistic. Last year, it was great. It was the season to win Scudetto, but in March, when we had the last game against Inter, the last game that was counting for the season, he wasn't the bench. He was starting.
Yeah.
So he needs to understand what you want to be.
Matteo, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Morata keeps the pace. What do you do? Morata keeps this pace.
Well, it's a great issue to have. Let me tell you that. It's a great issue to have. Because you know what I like about Morata? Morata is, I was ecstatic when we think we were going to get Dzeko. I love Dzeko. As a player, and I think he still have a couple of years on him, okay? But Morata has some quality that we didn't have. Today, and even on Saturday in Crotone, we were going vertical. We never went vertical in the last 3 years. Think about that. It give like you say, deep. You can, and on Saturday in Crotone, he was controlling the game, he was getting the ball with his head, he was keeping the ball defending the ball up top, something that we didn't have in the last year. So Morata is not going to be Suarez in his prime. It's not going to be Van Basten, okay? You know what, yeah? But Morata, today he scored 2 goals. Last already tied the game. So it's a good problem to have, I would say. But that's the Steelers play. That's what the Steelers paid for, right? So,
right.
All right. So this is the moment you've all been waiting for. I know, all day, and that is we are drawing the training jersey. And why are we drawing this training jersey? We are drawing the training jersey, and this is while Stefania and/or Ivan get ready to get the draw going. We're drawing it because we had set ourselves a goal, the leadership team at Bianconeri YYZ, that we wanted to grow by 20 members. And that's about, I think that at the time was something like a 50 or a 100% growth. No, 50% growth is what we're aiming for. And we bypassed that a while ago. But of course, the membership drive is still open. So if you're interested, bianconeri.com/membership. And you be sure to sign up if you want to join us. You're more than welcome to. All right, so we have surpassed that, and therefore we that basically triggered the jersey, the trading jersey, to be drawn. So here we are in the most democratic format possible, and documenting through recording the the draw. So take it away.
All right.
Can we have the screen sharing thing? Is that a possible thing? Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Just a quick note first. We are actually at 275% growth.
There you go.
Within 1 season. So amazing. Thank you to all of our members. This is just a draw. There's no purchase and no purchase necessary. It's just a thank you for all of our members, all of our work, and happy to have everyone here. So without further ado, let's get the screen share going. Does everyone see?
Yes.
Everything. All right, here we go.
All right, Michael Raso. Wonderful.
We will be sending you an email out tonight.
Congratulations, Michael. I want to see you in our next meetup to showing it off as soon as you receive it. I want to see a lot of our members here. We're so blessed to have great membership, an engaged membership. You know, I didn't mention this right off the skip, but you know, we know Giuseppe has his own channel. Mo collaborates. Matteo is Stripes, the Bianconeri podcast. I believe, Nicola, I'm going to get your podcast wrong, but I believe it's called The Calcio Guys, correct? Thank you very much. So, you know, we cross collaborate with you people. We like to be guests on your show, and it's out of pleasure. It's not really business. It's just, we just like to talk about soccer and Juve and share ideas. And we love it when you come into our little living room and chat Juve games. So thank you all for participating. I'm just going to pass the word to our president, Stefania, once more. If there's any final words you want to say before we sign off.
No, that's all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. We will be holding another Zoom meetup to be announced. And also our Dybala raffle is also coming up. So don't forget to buy your tickets.
That's right.
Home jersey signed by the entire Juventus team. So.
Yeah, the fun just never stops. There's never a dull moment at Bianconeri YYZ. We are constantly trying to keep
surprises.
Full of surprises. People say I'm full of something, can't remember what it is, but most of the time, Bianconeri YYZ full of good surprises. So that's great. So thank you very much, everyone, for being on the call. We look forward to next time. Fino alla fine, Forza Juventus here at Bianconeri YYZ.
Forza Juve!
Forza Juve!
Forza Juve, fino alla fine.